Yo, what's going on everyone? Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and today we're presenting the best NES soccer game with Nintendo World Cup.
Originally released in 1990, this was developed and published by Technos Japan. It came out on the NES, the Game Boy Advance, the Sega Mega Drive, the PC Engine, the Sharp X 68000, and the Wii's Virtual Console. It's the fourth game in the Kunio-kun series, and in Japan, it was known as Nikketsu High School Dodgeball Club Soccer Nintendo World Cup Nintetsu High School Koko Dojo Baboro Boo. Ah, fuck!
Japanese.
I think I had a stroke. Either way, let's see how the game is.
Well, like Jim mentioned, this is another one in the Kunio-kun series. So if you've ever played River City Ransom or Super Dodgeball, then you've seen these character sprites before, and to be honest, we never get tired of them. The over-exaggerated faces, the detail on the sprites, and just the sheer variety in each player you have, it's impressive, and we always enjoyed it. But they also offered a lot more, I guess, animations you'll call it. This gets into gameplay, but we still love the fact that you can do a diving headbutt, a bicycle kick, and when you charge up that super kick, the ball glows an interesting color. So it's all things we actually really enjoyed, and the game just looks nice and colorful. So when it comes to scores, we both gave it a 6. We definitely appreciated the amount of variety this game offered, and kudos to them for keeping that style they're so known for. As far as beer, gotta give it 1 beer for all that style.
Alright, the sound. Well, like most Technos games at the time, it has a nice soundtrack to it. The intro song is pretty well detailed, fairly long for a chiptune, and same goes with the music in-game. Sure, you only get the one song, but it's fun, it's upbeat, it's fast-paced, it's good for a sports title like this. The sound effects, again, are basically average. Nothing wrong with them, nothing great about them. So, really, there's almost not that much to say. So when it comes to score, we still left it at 5s. At this point, the sound effects probably could have been a little better, but the music keeps it at around that average stage. Maybe could have been a little above average, but with the Kunio-kun game, I was kind of hoping for a little more. As far as beer goes, I'll just add 1 beer for the somewhat lackluster sound effects.
Like our previous video, the worst NES soccer game, this is another one that actually, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to control. Unlike most of the other NES soccer games, you only control one player, and you just give commands to the rest of your teammates, which it gets annoying and you kind of get messed up at first doing it because you'll keep giving them the command to shoot or pass. Before you realize what you're doing, you'll look into the little mini-map and your guy's off in the left-hand corner. So that definitely takes a lot to get used to, but once you do, there is a lot of fun to be had and there is no issues with the actual control themselves. This game has a unique ability called the super kick, but it is a bitch to learn how to do it. To sum it all up, each team, you need to take a certain number of steps before shooting, and when you do, you get basically an unblockable shot that will always get you a goal. However, the steps are completely different per team, so chances are you're going to keep messing that up, and your chances of getting a goal in this game are fucking hard. So, when it comes to scores, I gave it a 6, Jim gave it a 7. He was willing to be a little more lenient, whereas I just felt it was still above average and all the inputs are fine, but it takes a little bit getting used to. And as far as beer, I'm just going to add 2, just for getting used to controlling all your goddamn teammates.
When it comes to gameplay, this game keeps that Kunio-kun style while still being a pretty decent soccer game. Now, to be fair, it doesn't have, say, the lineup switching of other games or the fact that you can change your positioning, even though in this it doesn't matter as much. And when it comes to game modes, you get 1 or 2 player tournament modes, and versus modes you can have up to 4 players via the 4 score, so that's actually pretty cool. In game, it's a soccer game, but it's a lot different. You only control 1 player on the team, but all your teammates you can give commands to. So you can tell them to tackle, to dive, to shoot, to pass. It's a little weird to get used to at first, but it's actually a pretty well done system, and it works just as well with single player or with multiplayer. Though when you're doing 2-player co-op, the first person to put the command in is what the computer player is going to do. So if you want to get that ball, you better hit pass and hit it quick. There's also the super shots, which can be done in a couple of different ways. Each team has a set number of steps that they can take.
Hey Jim, I already said that!
God damn it. Fine.
That's for clashing so much.
But Bri, I have to raid. My goblins need elixir.
Shut up, Mark!
Ow! What? Mark!
Come on, Cuck!
So at the end of the day, Bri gave it a 6 and I gave it a 7. What it does well. It just could have offered a bit more. When it comes to beers, I'm getting thirsty, so I'll throw in 2. 1 for the super shot, and 1 for the ability to break out that damn 4 score.
With the exception of one other soccer game to be discussed at a later date, this is clearly the most original NES soccer title. It has the unique style from Kunio-kun, as I already mentioned, but in addition to the super kick, as I mentioned, you have a diving headbutt, a bicycle kick, and the ability to now just straight up tackle the opposing team. And all of them are hilarious to watch. Just look when you hit this guy. His eyeballs go in every other way. It's friggin' crazy. I mean, wait, actually, this kind of reminds me of what happens in Jim.
No.
Don't do it. I'll let the audience be the judges of this. When Jim gets really drunk, his eyes look like they're trying to escape his head. So, take a look at this picture. That's why we call him the old lazy eye. So as far as score, I gave it an 8, and good old lazy eye gave it a 9. When it comes to beer, fuck it. Why don't you just throw 2 on there? Keep that lazy eye rolling all night long.
You know, when I sit here next to him doing this, for the most part, I don't get to see his little, oh, shit, I'm going to put this picture in from Jim's past. Oh, I don't see this shit. No, I don't get to see this crap until it happens. But I just saw that light bulb go off in his head with that goddamn lazy eye, so I know it's coming. Fuck!
Jim!
You know, you think you open yourself up on a website? You think you'd be nice guy? Alright, whatever. For playability, well, we already have the game modes we talked about, and you can do multiplayer with a friend, so it at least gets to 5. It's a little short on options, but it's so damn fun, you will want to come back to it. So we both gave it 6s.
What about the 4 players?
I already mentioned that before!
You can mention it again.
You can have between 2 and 4 players.
Thanks, lazy eye.
One of these days. One of these fucking days. Anyway, when it comes to beer, I'm just gonna give it, I'll give it 2 beers. Just because I'm gonna break these off and shove them up his ass. Fuck you, Brian!
So overall, like I mentioned in the previous video, Jim and I are not huge soccer fans, so it is really tough for me to give any soccer game that high of a score, but I actually had a lot of fun with this game. I will say, the one added touch that I forgot to mention previously, if you keep tackling the opposing team enough, they just end up being knocked out for the rest of the game. Look at this video as I'm going against Jim and all of his players are knocked out. Jim, isn't that funny? But we will totally understand when you hardcore soccer fans hate that we chose this as the best NES title because it is very arcadey and casual fan friendly. And that's honestly all we were looking for, was just a quick, fun experience, and you get it in spades with this game. So when it comes to the scores, I gave it a 6 and Jim gave it a 7. When we combined all of our scores together, it comes out to a 6.4. Oddly enough, this is not the highest scoring game we have, but you have to stay tuned for our next podcast when we talk about Tecmo Cup Soccer, which that thing is a unique, crazy beast onto itself, but there's no way we could call that the best soccer game because it plays more like an RPG. When it comes to beers, we had to choose something really unique for such a unique title, so we wanted to go with the Shock Top Twisted Pretzel Wheat Beer. Some people may not like this, but once again, we need something with a crazy amount of flavor, and it's not going to get you too drunk, because you got to remember to send commands to your other teammates. So, if you're feeling adventurous, get yourself a 6-pack, sit down with a buddy, and try and play this crazy-ass soccer game. But remember to drink your beers and play your games responsibly. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, or better yet, why not subscribe? Till next time, guys, cheers.
Damn it, I know where you're going with this. Fuck! Good luck looking through all those Facebook pictures.
Oh, I know where it is.
Oh, God damn it. I hate when that light bulb goes off in your fucking head. I really hate it. I fucking hate it.